Folks, and welcome to my first ever attempt at a video log where I'm hoping to give people a bit of an insight into the world of the amateur cyclist, the person that wishes they were Sean Kelly or wants to be Sam Bennett and hasn't got a hope. I'm doing this video log in conjunction with my other blog over on WordPress, which is called The Unknown Bike Rider, because that's what we are. And I'm also doing it in conjunction with my participation in the Wicklow 200 Sportive, which takes place in Bray on Sunday week. And it's my second one. I did it last year, so you've got the t-shirt there. And beside it I've got, that was for a Grand Fondo I did in Belfast the previous year. This is my sport, and I want to give people a bit of a brief insight into why people like me do it. You know, it's strange enough, it's not done just to go out on the road getting in people's way and annoying people. It's a sport. For me, I've had a couple of close calls with other stuff in my life, and cycling has kept me sane. And I think without cycling, I honestly don't know where I might have ended up. I am now very, very lucky as a musician. I'm busy, I have a full-time job, and I'm happy in life, and I owe a lot to cycling. So the Wicklow 200, I'm also trying to raise a couple of quid for motor neuron. There's a good friend of mine here in Care who was struck down with this disease a couple of years ago. He's fighting it, he's a fighter, but he comes from a very, very strong sporting background, and I think it's that tenacity and that sporting background that's standing to him now. But I wouldn't have his strength, I'll be honest with you. But look, hop over to Facebook, you'll see my page there. All the details are about it, and if you have a couple of quid, you might stick it in the kitty. I'm also hoping to give people an insight into what people like me do before a big event, such as Wicklow, for instance. It's 200 kilometres long. There's over 3,000 metres of climbing, which is not far off half the height of Everest in one day, for instance. As a total amateur, why would you do it? The amount of work that goes into doing it. You know, I've been training for it the last 9 months. I've almost 6,000 kilometres done. We were even out training tonight. It was a handy little 35 kilometre training session tonight, but I'm actually tapering off now. I'm winding down. I've done all my hard training, but because my energy levels are so high, it's very difficult to actually curtail it, because you want to burn off the energy. It's a bit like a small child. You've got all this energy, you want to burn it off, well, like, you know, but you've got to preserve the energy, you've got to hold the energy. I'm also hopefully going to give people a look at my bikes. I've got 3 bikes. The one in the background there is actually a World Tour bike. I won't be taking that to Wicklow because I wouldn't be able to push it for the day. It is a very, very difficult bike to ride, and I'll tell you more about that as this thing goes on. The bike that I have for the day is actually just over here. It's sitting on its stand, and I'll be using that in Wicklow. It's all to do with different gearings and setups and all that, and you take stuff for a hilly course, and you've got it's just huge. I'm also going to talk to people about nutrition, how important nutrition is in your life. Whether you're riding a bike, whether you're running a marathon, doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're just going to work every day, you are what you eat. And we live in a time of fast food. And while you can eat fast food, I eat plenty of fast food. I also I love chocolate. But I'm also going to talk about how important it is to watch your diet and how you can eat all these things, but just to burn it off then afterwards. But give your body every opportunity. We'll look at what stuff I'll be bringing to Wicklow with me, what we need for the day, for instance, to make sure that the bike runs well, that I go well, that I'm comfortable for the day. It's 9 hours on a bike, for instance, and 9 hours is an hour more than the average working day, for instance, sitting on a push bike. That's pretty tough. So you got to acclimatise your body to that. I've done that. My body is used to long hours. But Also, you see, cycling is the minority sport. Like, everybody knows the local GAA player and they know the local soccer player and all that, and quite rightly so. Like, these are the big sports. But have you ever thought of the amount of people in your community who cycles a bike, or is a runner, for an athlete, for instance, or taking part in other minority sports? The amount of work that goes into it. They work just as hard as the GAA person, as the soccer person, as the rugby person, but there's zero recognition. So I'd like to give people a small bit of an insight into this. That in my case, I have about 6,000 kilometres cycled now, getting ready for a Sunday week. I've done, I think, about 5 times the equivalent of Everest. Just to get my body and my legs used to climbing and building up muscles, burning off weight, keeping my weight down, because the amount, I'm a skinny, and yet, would you believe, I'm actually a bit heavier than I was last year. So you're carrying all that weight around with you for a day. So I'm hoping that I can kind of give people a bit of a brief insight into this, and who knows, hopefully people might like it. There's a subscribe button down there. You might just press that and just give it a small bit of support, because that's what keeps these things going. And you might also look at my blog over on WordPress, which is The Unknown Bike Rider. It's very, very simple, same as this one here. And it's just meant for that person, the pure, total amateur. Does, never race, we're not good enough to race. They'll never come to anything. They're not going to be the next Sean Kelly or the Sam Bennett's or this world. We are, those people are on a different planet. And would you believe it's still the only sport in the world that you can meet these people on a regular basis? You could be out training in the dead of winter, or if Sam or Sean Kelly are on a break, and you could pass them. Like, they've passed us countless times. So it's as normal or a regular thing to see. There's not many sports where that happens. So look, I'm at just over 7 minutes now into this. I'm trying to keep it around 9 minutes. So we're going to have a look on Thursday. Tomorrow's the rest day. So we might have a look, and tomorrow evening or Thursday evening, we'll have a look at my bikes and see that to a lot of people, a bike is a bike. So I'm going to try and show people the difference in bikes and why you would use a particular bike today, a different bike tomorrow, why a person like me, for instance, even with my experience now, would still not be able to, this bike here behind me, I wouldn't be able to push that for 200 kilometres around Wicklow. It's an absolutely beautiful bike. It's a world tour bike, professional setup. It is absolutely beautiful. It's formerly from Aqua Blue Sport. They were an Irish professional team. They ran a competition. I won first prize. That's how I ended up with that bike. So look, I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I'm hoping that people will come in and have a look. I've now got to work out how to put this up onto YouTube, how to get it out there and try and raise awareness. And the most important thing, right, whatever happens, if you have a couple of quid, you might just think a motor neuron, okay, because it's a horrible, horrible disease. It's a horrible thing. And, there's one thing before I go. I was at a thing last year, and Irish cyclist Peter Ryan was there. Peter is from Upperchurch. And Peter played hurling for Tipperary, and he had started to lose his eyesight. And now he's cycling a bike with a pilot, Sean Hassey. And somebody asked Peter what goes through his mind at the finish of an event or a race or whatever. And Peter said, I just thank, he said, that I have the ability that I can still compete. And isn't that fantastic? And you know what? Any morning you put your 2 feet out on the floor, and you can actually get up, you can go to work or go to school or ride a bike. It's a good day. So this is my first attempt at this video blogging thing, okay? I don't know how it's going to go. Hopefully a few people will look at it and probably won't. You might say, oh, for God's sake, he's at it again. It's just a brief insight into what it's like to be the unknown bike rider, okay? So I hope you enjoy it. And tune in the next installment, and we'll have a look at bikes, different bikes, gearing systems and all that, and indeed some of the money involved, because it's a bit ridiculous. Okay, so thanks a million, guys, and I really hope you enjoy the next couple of video logs. Thank you. Bye.